AATIP and Skinwalker Ranch, the Pentagon's secret investigation, a defense intelligence scientist's experience at a remote Utah ranch, led to a $22 million classified Pentagon program investigating the unexplained. Long before the public learned its name, a classified Pentagon program quietly investigated phenomena that defied conventional explanation. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, known by its acronym AATIP, operated in the shadows of the Defense Intelligence Agency from approximately 2007 to 2012. What distinguished this program from typical military research was not merely its secrecy, but its focus: unidentified aerial phenomena and locations where the boundaries of known reality appeared to break down. At the center of this classified effort stood a remote property in northeastern Utah that had already accumulated decades of documented strangeness. Skinwalker Ranch would become the focal point of the most significant government investigation into paranormal phenomena in modern American history. The connection between the Pentagon and this enigmatic property begins with a single visit in 2007. Dr. James Lakatsky, a scientist with the Defense Intelligence Agency, arrives at Skinwalker Ranch with the credentials and skepticism befitting a government researcher. His background provides no preparation for belief in the paranormal. His training emphasizes measurable data, reproducible results, and phenomena that conform to established physical laws. He comes to the ranch not as a believer seeking validation, but as a scientist conducting preliminary assessment of claims that seem, on their surface, impossible. What transpires during Lakatsky's visit becomes a pivotal moment in the government's engagement with the unexplained. The scientist experiences something anomalous, something that challenges his understanding of what is possible. The exact nature of this experience remains documented in his own subsequent testimony. What matters for the historical record is not the specific details of the phenomenon, but the response it triggers. A credentialed Defense Intelligence Agency scientist has an encounter that he cannot explain through conventional means. Rather than dismissing the experience or filing it away as an aberration, Lakatsky takes action. The action he takes reshapes the institutional landscape of government interest in anomalous phenomena. Lakatsky becomes instrumental in designing what will become AATIP, a classified program that will eventually command approximately $22 million in funding. This is not a fringe research project hidden in some obscure agency basement. This is a formal defense intelligence program with Senate-level support and significant financial backing. The government is taking seriously what it finds at Skinwalker Ranch. The path to funding runs through the halls of political power. Senator Harry Reid of Nevada occupies one of the most powerful positions in American government during this period, serving as Senate Majority Leader. Reid's interest in anomalous phenomena is not casual or recent. Through his constituent Robert Bigelow, the Las Vegas businessman who has conducted extensive investigation of the ranch through his National Institute for Discovery Science, Reid has access to years of documented incidents. The senator reviews reports that detail phenomena ranging from unusual aerial objects to encounters that defy ready categorization. The documentation is substantial enough, credible enough, and disturbing enough to warrant action. Reid secures funding for AATIP through channels available to someone of his political stature. The program receives its financial support, and the contract flows to Bigelow Advanced Aerospace Space Studies, a company owned by the same Robert Bigelow whose previous organization had investigated the ranch. The arrangement creates a direct line from private paranormal research to classified government investigation. What began as a billionaire's curiosity about a strange property in Utah has evolved into a formal Defense Intelligence Agency program with Senate oversight. The establishment of AATIP represents an extraordinary moment in the institutional acknowledgement of phenomena that conventional science struggles to explain. The United States government, through one of its intelligence agencies, allocates substantial resources to investigate encounters and events that fall outside accepted paradigms. The program does not merely collect reports or analyze existing data. It actively investigates locations and incidents, with Skinwalker Ranch occupying a central position in this effort. The classified nature of AATIP means that the full scope of its investigation remains hidden from public view. Security protocols prevent the release of detailed findings, methodologies, and conclusions. What investigators discovered during the program's active years from 2007 to 2012 stays locked within classified channels. The American public has no access to whatever data the government collects, whatever phenomena it documents, whatever conclusions its scientists reach about the nature of what occurs at the ranch. This secrecy persists until December 2017, when the New York Times publishes a landmark article that changes everything. Journalists Leslie Kean, Ralph Blumenthal, and Helene Cooper reveal the existence of AATIP to the world. The article provides the first public confirmation that the Pentagon has been investigating unidentified aerial phenomena through a formal, funded program. The revelation sends shockwaves through both mainstream media and the community of researchers who have long argued that such phenomena deserve serious scientific attention. The Times article does more than simply name the program. It establishes that government interest in these phenomena is real, substantial, and recent. This is not a relic from Cold War paranoia or the product of fringe elements within the bureaucracy. This is a contemporary program operating in the 21st century, commanded by serious professionals within the intelligence community. The article transforms public discourse about unidentified phenomena, lending institutional credibility to a subject long relegated to the margins of acceptable discussion. Luis Elizondo emerges as another key figure in this narrative. His involvement with AATIP and his subsequent advocacy for transparency regarding government knowledge of anomalous phenomena gives the public a credentialed voice speaking from inside the system. Elizondo's background and clearances lend weight to his assertions about what the government knows and what it continues to investigate. In 2021, the documentation becomes even more explicit. Dr. James Lakatsky, whose 2007 visit to the ranch helped catalyze AATIP's creation, publishes Skinwalkers at the Pentagon. Co-authored with Combe Kelleher and George Knapp, the book provides the most detailed first-hand account of the government's connection to the ranch. Lakatsky documents his experience, his role in establishing the program, and the institutional response to phenomena that defy conventional explanation. The book is significant precisely because of its author's credentials. This is not speculation from an outside observer. This is testimony from a Defense Intelligence Agency scientist describing events in which he directly participated. The book's publication represents an unprecedented level of official acknowledgement. A government scientist, writing under his own name, describes paranormal experiences and their connection to a classified defense program. The institutional barriers that typically prevent such disclosure have been navigated. The information enters the public record through a credentialed source whose professional reputation depends on accuracy and truthfulness. AATIP's official funding concludes in 2012, but the government's interest does not end. Investigations continue under different organizational structures, different names, different funding streams. The institutional knowledge accumulated during AATIP's active years persists within the defense and intelligence communities. The phenomena that motivated the program's creation have not disappeared, and neither has the government's attention to them. In 2022, Congress establishes the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, known as AARO. This new office represents the formal, public acknowledgement of the government's ongoing interest in unexplained phenomena. AARO operates with a higher level of transparency than AATIP, reflecting changing attitudes about the value of public disclosure. The office's creation demonstrates that the questions AATIP investigated remain relevant and unresolved. The government continues to seek answers. The AATIP connection fundamentally transforms Skinwalker Ranch's place in the landscape of documented anomalous locations. What might otherwise be dismissed as private anecdotes or unverifiable claims now carries the weight of government acknowledgement. The Pentagon allocated $22 million to investigate phenomena that include events at this property. The Defense Intelligence Agency sent credentialed scientists to the location. The Senate Majority Leader took direct interest in ensuring the program received funding. These are facts of public record, confirmed through multiple official sources. This institutional validation does not explain what occurs at the ranch. It does not provide answers to the fundamental questions about the nature of the phenomena. What it does provide is confirmation that those questions are serious enough to warrant classified investigation by one of the most powerful governments on Earth. The strangeness reported at Skinwalker Ranch is not merely folklore or misperception. It is something that trained intelligence professionals working with substantial resources and advanced technology have deemed worthy of sustained attention. The legacy of AATIP extends beyond any single location or incident. The program's revelation opens space for legitimate scientific inquiry into phenomena that have long been dismissed or ignored by mainstream institutions. When the Pentagon investigates something, when Congress funds it, when Defense Intelligence Agency scientists document their experiences with it, the conversation changes. What was once consigned to the realm of belief or fantasy enters the domain of documented fact, requiring serious analysis. Senator Reid, before his passing in 2021, confirmed his role in establishing AATIP and his specific interest in Skinwalker Ranch. His public statements add another layer of official acknowledgement to the historical record. The Senate Majority Leader pursued this program because he believed the phenomena merited investigation, because the documentation he reviewed convinced him that something genuinely anomalous was occurring. The story of AATIP and Skinwalker Ranch is ultimately a story about the limits of institutional knowledge and the courage required to investigate beyond those limits. It is about what happens when credentialed professionals encounter phenomena that their training did not prepare them to understand. It is about the choice to take such encounters seriously rather than dismissing them for the sake of professional comfort or institutional inertia. The full scope of what the government learned during AATIP's investigation remains classified. The American public does not know what data was collected, what conclusions were reached, what recommendations were made. But the public does know that the investigation happened, that it was substantial, that it focused on a location with decades of documented strangeness. That knowledge alone reshapes the landscape of what is possible, what is real, what deserves serious attention from science and society. If you found this case compelling, subscribe to Vanishing Roads for more documented paranormal investigations from around the world. This story was created with AI assistance based on documented case files. All events reference real investigations and reported incidents.